Alright, what is going on everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got some more NBA news to, of course, be talking about with you guys. This time I actually wanted to talk about the recent news that is coming from Shams that actually does suggest that the Miami Heat are one of the most interested teams in trading for Donovan Mitchell and actually could have the best offer to get a trade done. There's some people even theorizing that they flat out are going to beat the New York Knicks and will be trading for Donovan Mitchell. And again, all of this basically being reported by Shams. He's got them as one of the biggest teams going after Donovan Mitchell right now. And I think as far as what the Miami Heat are, doing, I think this would actually be a very, very good move for them, because it just showed so bad in the playoffs that this team absolutely needs another shot creator. The team does a lot of things very well. They play great defense, great team ball, and the spacing has been pretty good up until the playoffs, of course, where the three-point shooting did go out of the window into some games, and again, needing the shot creator. But again, it's been the defense for this Miami Heat team that really held them doing something right. And the thing I see with the Miami Heat is they really didn't do anything this offseason at all. In fact, they signed everyone back they needed to. They let PJ Tucker walk, which I'm going to be honest, I'm fine with. I think you guys know my opinions on PJ Tucker now. I really liked him on the Bucks. I always liked him on the Rockets. But as soon as he got to the Heat, I did not rate him on the Heat at all. I know a lot of Heat fans liked him for his defense and three-point shot throughout the regular season. But god damn was he bad in playoffs. Like, in the playoffs, he literally could not hit a shot. Players weren't even bothering to guard him anymore. It was like me when I play local basketball. I'm just like, it's like my team honestly feels like sometimes they're playing a 4-on-5 just because I'm so bad on offense and can't do anything there. I'm pretty decent at defense, and that's what PJ Tucker, I feel like, is kind of in that boat where he can play the defense, but on offense, he's just an absolute non-factor to the team now. I mean, his three-point percentage, it just was not that great towards the end of the year. I think for the whole season, he averaged around like 42 or 43%, which is terrific. And then the playoffs came and it dropped down to like 35%. And he could barely get a shot off on times. They let PJ Tucker walk, which I thought was going to be a good thing. But then they just made no effort to sign a player rather to take over from PJ Tucker. I think the overall plan for Miami this offseason was actually going to be to bring in a center and move Bam to the 4. There was a lot of interest and rumors saying that they were going to go after Mo Bamba and put him at the 5, because he and Bam would have worked so well together, because Mo Bamba can space the floor and like play the 4 on offense, but on defense he could play the 5, and Bam could go guard players like Giannis and LeBron on defense. But we just know they didn't do that. They just absolutely did nothing at all. We haven't even seen Duncan Robinson get traded, and they didn't even play that guy in the playoffs. We also have not even seen Tyler HERRO get extended. There's not even a confirmation that he's going to start next season for this Miami Heat team. And I honestly think a lot of this stuff could actually be happening, because they're being very patient and waiting to actually do something this offseason, where I think this is going to be their time where they're going to try and trade for a star like Donovan Mitchell. We've already heard rumors that they're going to be interested in Kevin Durant, but I don't know if they're going to go that way, because what I think they're going to do is they're going to try and get Donovan Mitchell, and I think he'll be cheaper for them. And realistically, other than the Knicks, they're probably going to be the biggest chance to get Donovan Mitchell. And the reason I say that is because what the Utah Jazz look like they're looking for the most is picks. The Miami Heat have all their upcoming picks. They own every single one of them. They're all unprotected. And that's the same that the Knicks do as well. The Knicks also have a really good young core that they can trade up. And I think the Heat definitely have a couple players they could look to trade as well. Now, I did hear some rumors and speculation that the way that the Jazz will be looking at this is actually they'll be wanting to bring in fresh rookies, so they don't have to extend someone for a while. Basically meaning they would rule out Tyler HERRO because they wouldn't want to extend him to the max for the time being, and they're going to be wanting to tank for a year or two. The reality is, though, is I think you can still tank with Tyler HERRO on the team and still be like a bottom 3 or 5 seeded team. I think we all know that Tyler HERRO, I think he works better right now as like a second or third option on a team where he can come in and also create that, his own shot off the bench, and his 3-point percentage is pretty good as well. But the way I see it on the Utah Jazz, he would automatically become their number 1 guy, and again, he would struggle a lot to start off with, and he's never even started a season in the NBA, so he might struggle a little bit there. So I don't see him exactly hurting their tank a lot. Of course, long term, this guy's going to probably be an all-star, but for the time being, I'm not sure if he'd make that jump straight away in Utah. He'll probably average 25 points per game or something, but his defense will probably still be as bad as it is now, and just other factors of his game. But if you're the Miami Heat, if you go up to the Jazz and you're saying to them, we'll give you, Tyler HERRO, Kyle Lowry, and they'll probably throw someone in there like I don't even know who would, probably that Omer Yurtseven, Jesus Christ, I can't say his name, but he's a low-key good, underrated young player who's averaging 5.5 and 5.5 in 12.5 minutes per game. Low-key, I think the Jazz would be interested in him as well. They could offer up those 3 guys, and then, of course, a bunch of first-round picks, and I probably would say it'd be about 5, and then, or 4 maybe, and then you'd get that deal done. And I think this would be a huge win for the Miami Heat and the Utah Jazz. Again, the Utah Jazz can bring in Kyle Lowry, which I think once they've traded all their players, they're going to be still looking to trade, Jordan Clarkson, etc., where they're going to be looking to give minutes to a lot of players who they're going to try and boost their trade value. They're going to play like Kyle Lowry. I straight up think they might just start next season once they've moved on from maybe Mike Conley and Patrick Beverley, who I still think some teams might be looking to trade for. They could definitely look at that and try something like that. I think would be a really, really interesting decision. And then again, you straight up bring in Tyler HERRO, who can start for them and do all of that type of stuff and be a potential star in the future. And then I think that Omer Yurtseven might even start for them too, nearly at this point, because if you take a look at that Jazz roster, they literally don't have a starting center right now. I don't even know who's going to be starting a center for them. They gave up Gobert. I think they brought in Jared Vanderbilt, but are they going to start him in center and just go small ball? They also, I think let Hassan Whiteside walk away, which is pretty crazy. They did a lot of different things, which is really, really interesting. And I'm not sure necessarily how they're going to go about this, but I think it's a really cool thing to see how this Jazz team is going to be set up in the future. Then if you're the Miami Heat, you move on from Kyle Lowry, who literally helped their team not one little bit. His defense and that all helped quite a bit, but it didn't work as well. It took the ball off Butler a little bit, and in the playoffs, they literally gave Butler the ball full time, and Kyle Lowry was just not effective. So you move on from him. Of course, you're losing Tyler HERRO, which kind of sucks, but at the end of the day, Donovan Mitchell is still a 5 times better player than he is, and then that Yurtseven he's okay, but they've got big man depth anyway in Miami. And then again, you bring in the multiple first-round picks. You trade away the multiple first-round picks, which kind of sucks, but it's really, oh well. Then I think what this actually does is you clearly can't find a trade now for Duncan Robinson. It just seems like he's untradeable, or they would have been trading him by now. So what I think actually happens is I think they 100% try and make this work with Duncan Robinson, where if all this stuff that happens that I just suggested, could definitely go down, I think they might even actually insert this guy back potentially in that starting lineup, where you see a situation where it's like Donovan Mitchell at point guard, but he actually plays, of course, shooting guard on offense. Then you see Duncan Robinson at the 2, Jimmy Butler maybe at the 3. I don't even know who's going to go at the 4, and then Bam at the 5. They could also have an option where they play small ball and, also start Victor Oladipo like they do. Donovan at the 1, Oladipo at the 2, Robinson at the 3, Butler at the 4, and Bam at the 5. Of course, the interior defense might suck some nights because Butler would, I guess, be playing the power forward position. But at the end of the day, you've still got Oladipo, Butler, and Bam, who can all defend at a high level. And then you've still got Donovan Mitchell, Duncan Robinson, who they would make the spacing a whole lot better and do all of that. It would be a pretty crazy thing to see in Miami, to be honest. And then you'd still have a bunch of defenders off the bench like Caleb Martin, Dwayne Dedmon, Max Strus is still there as well. Gabe Vincent, the team has still got a lot going for them. They definitely do need to make some moves. They could still probably look to bring in a veteran power forward. But honestly, one thing that I think would actually be kind of cool is maybe bringing in DeMarcus Cousins. It's been very clear that for the Miami Heat, that DeMarcus Cousins has probably been offered a bunch of deals from different teams. But it's been said that he's actually knocking them all back because he wants to start in the NBA. And this is more evident where you look at the situation that Denver just signed DeAndre Jordan. Like, you can't possibly tell me that Denver picked DeAndre Jordan over DeMarcus Cousins. No, DeAndre Jordan's about as useless as I am on a basketball court. So they would have 100% offered DeMarcus Cousins a deal first, but we know Cousins would have declined it because he wants to start in the NBA. There's a couple teams that could offer Cousins a starting role in the NBA. You're looking at the Lakers. You're looking at, I think even the Knicks could literally do it because Mitchell Robinson, yes, he'll start, but he gets injured like more times than my dad has left me. So you got that fact that he could definitely start some games over there. But again, it wouldn't be full-time. A team that he could probably start full-time on still could be Miami. Because as I said previously, they did want to bring in Mo Bamba. It was confirmed reports that they were interested in Mo Bamba. And the way that they wanted to run it is they'd play Mo Bamba at the 5. But on offense, he'd play power forward. The situation would essentially be that Bam on defense would play the power forward, so he could guard players like LeBron and Giannis and all that type of stuff. But on offense, he would play the center. So I still feel like you could do that with DeMarcus Cousins, and I feel like that would be an interesting proposition that you should be able to 100% run. I don't see why Miami wouldn't do that. Plus, I still think they need a bench player or two to add, and bringing in DeMarcus Cousins moves someone else potentially to that bench. He also just seems like, to me, that he would have that Miami like hustle and defense and all of that type of stuff to really bring in and just kind of show exactly what the Miami Heat have really built over this time. So I think it would be a whole lot of fun and really interesting if they also were interested in DeMarcus Cousins. But again, Donovan Mitchell, it makes a whole lot of sense to get him to the team. I think the way I'm looking at it right now is, again, as I said, Shams is reporting all this for Donovan Mitchell. It would just work. Again, essentially, Donovan Mitchell would probably start at point guard if they were to trade up Kyle Lowry in a deal or something. But on offense, he would play the 2, and Butler would probably go back to being like the point forward type of role on offense. This makes a whole lot of sense. This is exactly what they ran in the playoffs, and this is why Kyle Lowry just completely became utterly irrelevant for them. So I think it would ultimately be a good decision. And yeah, it'd probably work for both teams. But of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below. Do you guys think the Miami Heat should, of course, trade for Donovan Mitchell? Do you guys think the Utah Jazz would accept something like this? Definitely let me know your thoughts and opinions. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel, my RO/vlog channel, my podcast. All of them will be linked in the description down below. And as I was saying, leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.